Claudia, hi. Thanks for joining us and welcome to Pharmacoms TV. Can you tell us a little bit about your role in Boehringer Ingelheim?
I'm Claudia Adreani. I am the business head of customer excellence, which means I am responsible and accountable for three key functions within the business. One is business excellence, and that includes training, business excellence as such, and digital marketing support for the brands. I also have got responsibility for the customer insights function and the remote detailing function, mainly across the organization. So I'm heading basically an enabling function that supports the business across functions and across brands, driving excellent customer engagement.
Can you share with us your views on the importance of true patient-centricity and how you're addressing these challenges?
It's kind of almost like an obvious, to me, it's pretty obvious to think about patient centricity, because for me it's as simple as patients are the reason we exist in the first place as a business. Our business exists because of a patient unmet need and some great scientists that decided to fulfill that need and create amazing medicines to cure those diseases, or at least help patients live either better or longer. Hence, patient centricity is a must, it's not even a choice for us. And I'm actually lucky that I work in an organization that, because it's family owned, has got that longer view and that ultimate benefit of the patient at heart, and can invest longer term as well, which is, often can be tricky for other for other pharma companies, or it's not in our case. But in any case, patient is at the heart of what we all do. And that means then that for us to develop content that can resonate not just with physicians but with patients themselves, of course, when we target them directly to support them, we have to really truly understand what they want, what they need, what are not just their unmet need from a medical point of view, but what is that emotional unmet need they have, what are their worries, what are their concerns. Because if anything, that will make the content that we create, not just for patients again, but for customers as well, richer, because at the end of the day, that is our common ground with customers. The only common goal that we have is actually we both share the same interest, which is make sure that those patients get better.
And how important is it, in your view, to embrace a multi-channel communication strategy?
I try to drive the message, the simplicity of the message across the organization, when we have to talk to reps or when we have to talk even to the marketeers. Multi-channel is not something that is coming from us and from pharma needing to use different technology or different channels just because they're there and we need to use it and make the best use of them, or because we want to cut resources or be more effective and more efficient. Multi-channel is because the world is multi-channel. So the customer is multi-channel. The customer does not use one channel anymore to engage with anything around them. We all use a variety of channels to engage, from loved ones to work colleagues to vendors to businesses we want to engage with products, with anything. And it's not any different for us in pharma. So the importance of multi-channel is simply, if we are truly customer-centric and patient-centric, then we need to just embrace every single channel that our customers want. We need to be there where they are. We need to move away from the pushing and be more pertinent and relevant, and we can only do that if we are there when the customers need us, and the customers are not always going to be in the channels where we traditionally used to engage with, which is actually more of the push channel, which is still very important because our sales force is still very relevant, that face-to-face contact is still very relevant, but we need to be mindful that sometimes customers want things in their own terms. We live in a self-served world where we want immediacy, we want convenience, we want things to be there at our fingertip, and sometimes that is all the channels, like remote, like digital, like any of the other channels that we are embracing, rightly enough.
So we're hearing that access to healthcare professionals is becoming more and more of a challenge. How are you guys addressing this?
To me, it all goes back to the understanding, the value, and your intentions. So if you really understand, first of all, if you really understand what the customer want and what the customer really need from us, then we're in a good space, because then we can decide what out of that, where can we add the value. And if we have that intention of actually, the intention is not only to add value to the customers, but actually ultimately to add value to the patients and to contribute and to help them with the challenge of helping the patients, then you're always in a good space. When you're really playing there, I think access is a lot less tricky than we think it is. And if on top of that, then you also understand how does that customer want to be engaged, and we really understand what's the best channel, what's the channel that is less disruptive for them, and it's a channel that they would actually prefer and more likely receive the communication, then again, access becomes less of an issue.
Can you talk to me about a recent campaign you were involved with that was innovative, and what sort of takeaways you got from it?
One particular project that I'm quite excited about, mainly because we are kind of about to launch it and we've been directly supporting the brand teams on that, is the one that actually talks about this relationship between patient and customer and how and the true understanding of what customers want. And customers keep saying to us, if you really want to help me, one struggle that I have is I'm struggling to actually support my patients in a personalized way, give them enough content. The patients, on the other hand, struggle to get the right content online because there's so much out there. And they struggle to sometimes understand the disease, and if they go online, then there's everything, and they may just have a need at that particular time along their own journey to understand bits and pieces of it. For example, if you're a diabetic patient just diagnosed, maybe your main need is just to understand what does that mean to be diabetic and what am I expecting, and not necessarily at that point understanding medication and implications and side effects and all of it. And doctors, on the other hand, as well, struggle because they only have very limited time and they do need to do the work and covering everything, but perhaps not with enough depth and not at the level that the patient needs. And sometimes that's not even the right time, because the right time is a week later after they have digested the diagnosis. So how can we help them do that piece better when they struggle themselves? And this is one piece that, again, listening to them, they have told us again and again, that's one area where you guys can play a role and you could help us do this better. So we are creating these very nice, I think. It's not, by the way, when you talk about innovation, everyone thinks, oh, innovation is like super elaborated, flashy technology. This is not. It's about creating something that is simple yet smart. Yes, it's using digital technology, but it's a tool that would allow ultimately customers to tailor in a very easy way content to patients so they can support them better and they can have access to this tool whenever they want or need it. So they could do it even in front of the patient in consultation. And then it would allow them to give them just nuggets of information that are valid. We're curating content that is useful, and then they can use these to tailor to the different type of patients they have and to their needs. So it has elements of segmentation, kind of, or profiling within the tool, and there's a bit of drag and drop, like tailor your own materials, and then they can email that to the patients, or they can print it out if they want to create different types of materials that they want to have in their office to give to patients when patients come along.